So you're here. Good. I was hoping for company. You see, I've got stories, dark ones, chilling ones, the kind that keep you up at night. Mythical creatures, curses, horrors you can't escape. Shall we begin? Don't worry, I won't bite. Much.
I'm a part-time urban explorer blogger who films eerie tales from remote towns for views. That day, I went to a supposedly haunted old Chinese medicine clinic, hoping for a lucky find. Instead, I nearly lost my life. This Chinese medicine clinic had been abandoned for 3 years, located at the far end of an old street on the outskirts of town. The sign above the door still faintly read, Gu Song Tang. The entrance was covered with faded red seals, peeling away, clear evidence that the place had been officially shut down. I climbed over a side wall. The yard was a mess, overgrown with weeds poking through cracks in the stone pavement. The autumn wind rustled the dried leaves, whispering as if someone was sighing in the shadows. What gave me goosebumps was the sight of a homeless man curled up in the corner of the yard. He wore a tattered cotton jacket, his face buried in his knees, making it impossible to see his expression. I hesitated for a moment before gently patting his shoulder. "Hey, old man." No response, no movement. I figured he was just asleep, so I decided to go inside to film some footage and investigate what exactly made Gu Song Tang so infamous. I pushed open the weathered wooden door, revealing a long, dim corridor lined with consultation rooms and a pharmacy. The air was thick with the musty stench of decayed herbs, a mix of mold and medicinal soup. Every step kicked up dust, making my scalp tingle. I switched on my flashlight and cautiously moved forward. Suddenly, a soft thud echoed from the end of the hallway, as if something had just fallen off a table. My heart clenched. I hesitated, considering retreating, but since I was already here, I steeled myself and pressed on. Inside the room at the end of the hall, a worn-out dark red grand chair sat in the center, with a half-broken medicine cabinet leaning against the wall. On the floor lay a toppled ceramic jar, its contents spilled in dark brown powder, exuding a metallic stench, like some failed concoction. I snapped a few photos, my gut churning uneasily. This place was seriously unsettling. Just as I was about to leave, I noticed something peculiar. There was a small door in the back of the room. An old rusty iron lock dangled from the latch, but it wasn't fully secured. I pushed it gently, and with a creaking sound, the door swung open, revealing a low-ceilinged storage room. My flashlight beam swept the room and stopped on a rigidly seated human figure. I almost screamed, but forced myself to look again. It didn't move. It was a corpse. The man wore a yellowed long robe, his hair completely white and dry. His hollow cheeks and bluish-gray skin made him look mummified. Worst of all, his eyes were slightly open, giving off a chilling, unblinking stare. A thought flashed through my mind. Could this be the legendary old doctor of Gu Song Tang? Locals claimed that 3 years ago, the owner of this clinic, a renowned old doctor known for his miraculous skills, supposedly able to bring the dead back to life, died mysteriously in his own clinic. Some said he was practicing a forbidden longevity elixir and was consumed by his own creation. I gathered my courage and inched closer. My foot accidentally kicked a small bottle near his feet. It was an antique-looking glass vial with strange symbols carved into the bottom, containing a dark brown liquid. Clink. The bottle rolled a couple of times. Just as I bent down to pick it up, I saw it. The corpse's lips twitched. No mistake. I saw it clearly. His shriveled face quivered slightly, like he was enduring some unbearable pain. I held my breath. Was he not completely dead? Or had he died unnaturally? Panic surged through me. I grabbed the bottle and dashed out of the room. Just as I reached the hallway, I heard a faint scraping sound, like dry branches dragging across the floor. I didn't dare look back. I bolted straight for the entrance. Outside, dusk had fallen, and the cold wind howled. But what chilled me to the core was the absence of the homeless man in the yard. Only a strange dragging trail remained, stretching toward the clinic as if he had crawled away. My heart pounded. Did he go in by himself? Or was he never really asleep? I clutched the vial tightly, its symbols making me uneasy. Not sure what to do next, I hesitated at the entrance. Just then a sickening stench filled the air like rotting flesh mixed with pungent herbs. Instinctively I turned around, and there he was. The homeless man was crawling toward me from the doorway. His face was now a ghastly shade of black and blue, split open in festering cracks. His murky eyes were locked onto the bottle in my pocket, as if it was all he cared about. His breath was foul, his lips cracked as he muttered, "Give me that medicine." Fear paralyzed me. My legs refused to move. He slowly lifted a bony hand, his joints creaking like brittle wood. He wasn't reaching for me. He wanted the bottle. Then it hit me. This wasn't some regular medicine. It was a formula that kept people in a state between life and death. Maybe this homeless man had taken it before, relying on it to stave off an incurable disease. Now, separated from it, he was decomposing alive. Or worse, this medicine didn't heal, it trapped people between life and undeath. My mind spiraled. I needed to run. But as I took a step back, my heel struck something. The old doctor. He stood at the doorway, his vacant eyes locked onto the vial peeking out of my pocket. My blood ran cold. His expression was stiff, lips slightly parted. A thin stream of black blood dripped from his mouth onto the floor with an eerie tap, tap sound. Then, in a raspy whisper, he said, "Give me back my medicine." He wasn't just speaking to me, but warning the homeless man. This is mine. I finally understood. Both of them wanted this medicine. It could either extend life unnaturally or keep the dead from fully passing on. The homeless man had once clung to it for survival, while the doctor, as its creator, saw it as his eternal bond. My pulse raced. Trapped between two walking corpses, I had no idea what to do. The homeless man twitched violently and lunged at the doctor, trying to snatch the vial first. The old doctor, though stiff, raised his bony fingers and clawed at the man's throat. They struggled, their hoarse snarls filling the air. Seeing my chance, I bolted. I didn't stop running until I was miles away, gasping for air. Somewhere along the way, I lost the vial. Whether it fell or was taken, I had no idea. Even now, I feel something lingering behind me, watching, waiting, just beyond sight. And I can't shake the feeling that the medicine still exists,